Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hi everybody. I had decided to finally sit down and knock out a video I've been meaning to make for, months at this point. And that is a frequently asked questions video. Now this is the closest thing to a vlog you guys are ever going to get, pretty much. So I've seen a lot of repeat questions, both in-game and on my YouTube videos, and occasionally on the Discord and my Facebook and social media, but not really that much on those. It's mostly in-game and on the YouTube videos, which is fine, because that's where most of my contact with you guys is. So, without any further ado, let's get to the questions. So, first few questions relate to my in-game name, which is not going to shock any of you who know me or know the questions that I get all the time or hate to answer repeatedly. And the number one question that comes up all the time is, are you a fan of the Orange Doom? And the answer is, my name is completely unrelated to the Orange Doom. It has absolutely nothing to do with him. It's just, we're both YouTube players, and I make YouTube videos and he makes YouTube videos. He started doing it first, before I was even aware of who he was. And yeah, no, my name has got nothing to do with him. It's totally irrelevant. It's unrelated altogether. I wasn't aware of him when I started playing the game or making YouTube videos myself. It came about later. Where the name comes from is I grew up near Syracuse, New York, and the local university there has all their sports teams are called the Orange. They used to be the Orange Men and the Orange Women. Now they made it gender neutral, and now it's just the Orange. That's where it came from. So I'm a fan of the Syracuse Orange, and therefore Orange fan. Now I've been using that name in video games online for, I don't know, something like 14 or 15 years. At least as far back as I can remember from playing the original Ghost Recon, which, I mean forever ago. Not Wildlands, not anything in between, like the very first one that came out in 2000 or 2001 is what I'm talking about. So, I looked through my old computers to see if I could find any screenshots of me using that name. I couldn't find any. I'm not going to look that crazy deep for it, because I could just Photoshop and doctor one if I felt like it anyway, so what's the point? Anyway, I've been using that name forever, and I've been using it in other games outside of War Thunder for a long, long time, so I guess just get some imagination. And, I mean, I could understand if my name said Orange Doom fan, but it doesn't, so anyway, on to the next question. Related to that, are you Dutch? No, I am not Dutch, I am American. Originally, I was using the big orange circles, and I had them out on both of my wings, and I would just cover up whatever aircraft roundels there were out on the wings, and then I would put something else in there. And then when I came across, when somebody, I don't know, I think somebody showed me Orange Doom's YouTube channel, and he had the big orange circles out on his wingtips, I think, is how he used to do it. He'd have it on one side of his aircraft, on the main wing, and then on the horizontal stabilizer in the back, so I stopped and changed that. Some of my old aircraft have still got that on there, the ones that I don't ever fly anymore, and as I find it, I change it, because it's hard to convince people that my name doesn't have anything to do with them when my aircraft are looking the same. So I change that whenever I come across one of those planes, because, well, anyway. No, I'm not Dutch. And the last question that I get all the time about my name, this one cracks me up. Are you the real Orange fan? Now, when this is not someone who's confusing me with Orange Doom, and they actually are aware of me, and they're asking if it's really me, yes, here's the thing. Here's a picture of... I didn't know that there were people trying to imitate me in-game, which I find hysterical, until somebody mentioned it to me that there were a bunch of different Orange fans, which I think is really hilarious. And, so there's me up at the top. Capital O, everything else is lowercase, no spaces, no underscores, no capital F, and no special characters or anything like that. It's just capital O, Orange fan, everything else is lowercase. That's me. Any other name that's not that is not me. I don't have a PlayStation 4 account. I don't have a PlayStation 4. So anything else, I don't have any alternate accounts that are one or two letters changed off of my name or anything like that. I just have this one account. I have alternate accounts for War Thunder. I haven't touched them in forever, and they're completely different account names. They're not even at all close to Orangefan. So there's not really a way that I think you can make your name look like mine besides changing capitals and stuff like that. Like if you put a 0 instead of an O, maybe, but I don't know how that even looks in the game. Anyway, that's what my name looks like. That's me. I'm the only one. I'm not aware of any way that you can really make your name look like my name without like using an @ symbol or something that would be really obvious. Okay, so enough about the name. The next thing is some gameplay and video questions. Or not gameplay, sorry. The next thing is some hardware and video production questions. I get a lot. One of them is, what computer do you have? Well, the specs as of the time that I'm recording the video will be in the About section, and I update that whenever something changes on one of my computers. So you can see both my desktop system and my laptop system there. I have to travel a lot for work, and I take my laptop with me. So, in fact, I'm doing that right now. I'm recording on my laptop right at this moment. My laptop is a pretty beastly machine. It's only about 1.5 years old right now, so it's still really good. My desktop is about 4 or 5 years old now at this point, and it's very much due for an upgrade. I've been doing some incremental upgrades to it, like I got a new video card over Christmas. I put a video up about that with a comparison to the old one. I am planning on an all-new, well, almost all-new desktop build this coming November around Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Probably basing that around a Ryzen 1700X, and I am at least gonna transfer over my 6 gig Strix 1060 video card, and I'm not sure what else. I might move some of the SSDs I've got in there probably over for recording and scratch drives, I think. And I'm not sure other than that. Let's see. What else about the computers? Yeah, that's pretty much everything about the computers. I'm not going to get into the specs because you can look up in the About tab on my YouTube channel. You can see all the specs. They're there. They're all laid out. Another question I got recently was what microphone to use. I have a Blue Yeti, so that's what I'm talking to you on right now. Okay, next question. What resolution do you play / record at? I see that one a lot too. I play at 1080 and 60 frames per second in all the games that I play in War Thunder on both machines. I've got all the resolution and all the graphics and everything set up as high as they'll go for 1080 for War Thunder. And I've got everything as maxed out as far as it'll go, and both of my systems are capable of running that at an easy, steady 60 frames a second without even hiccuping. So yes, and then I upload at YouTube at 1080p 60 as well. Okay, so the next question is, what do you use to record? And that's a two-part answer, because I record my video separately from my audio, because, well, for one, for video recording, I use NVIDIA's Shadowplay, and that is specifically because it has a DVR function. So you can DVR up to the last 20 minutes of anything happening, and I have it set to automatically DVR the last 20 minutes at any given time. So that way, if anything crazy or noteworthy happens and I'm not otherwise recording, I just hit the DVR button and I've got it saved. That's how I did the entire first quarter highlight reel and most of the second quarter highlight reel that I'm going to work on here once we hit July. I use RecordPad as a program that I use to record my voice narration audio, or sometimes I just do it directly in Audacity. Most of the time I use RecordPad. I do all my audio, my narration and commentary audio editing. That all happens in Audacity. And then at the end, I take the video recordings and the edited and finalized audio recordings, and I put everything together into Sony Vegas Pro 12. And that's where I do all my final video editing and the rendering and everything. And I record in Shadowplay at 50 Mbps speed or setting, and I do all the final edits in Sony Vegas and do the final renders in about somewhere between 24 to 26 Mbps, depending on what the video actually outputs. I played the game in 7.1 surround audio with my headphones, but all the video recordings for Shadowplay and the videos that output from Sony Vegas are in stereo audio, but that's what YouTube does anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So Sometimes you'll hear me talking about, like, I can hear this guy, I can hear that guy, he's around this direction or whatever. That's usually the positional audio with the 7.1 headset that I have. And it doesn't always directly translate into the YouTube videos because they're just in stereo. So you can't necessarily hear exactly what I hear during the gameplay. So sometimes I'll say, yeah, I can hear this guy, he's this way, and you'll just hear something off to your left or right side. But just understand that I'm playing the game on a 7.1 headset. Okay, so the next question that I get, and the final question about hardware and video production kind of is, are you recording right now, or will this be a YouTube video? I get that obviously in game all the time. And the answer is yes, sort of. If I'm recording a first 10, then yes, I'm actively recording. Whenever there's a first 10, I do a physical, on-purpose recording at the beginning of each battle, and then after I get killed and it does the little replay thing, the kill cam, that's where I stop the video, so that in the end, when I'm editing, I just cut it when the screen fades to black, and then we go to the result screen and then on to the next battle. If I'm not actively recording, I usually don't actively record every video or every game that I'm playing, because that just takes up too much space. I don't have that kind of storage space on any of my systems where I can just willy-nilly record everything, and it also would just take too much time to go back through and look through all the video recordings and think, okay, do I want to keep this? No. Did I want to keep this? No. Oh, this is the one where, you know, I got killed in the first rush or whatever, so no, delete it, etc., etc. So anytime something cool happens, and that's why sometimes in some of my videos you get that DVR hiccup that I talk about, because if I'm having a really good game and the game seems like it's going to stretch longer than 20 minutes, I'll hit the DVR button, then immediately hit the record button, the manual recording button, as soon as I can after that. And then sometimes it skips by like a second or two, and I can't quite sync it up within Sony Vegas, so you get a little bit of a gap. But I usually talk about it so that when you see the video skip in YouTube or whatever, you understand what happened, and that it's not like something weird happened with the video. So the answer is I'm not always actively recording. I'm always passively recording, and if something cool happens, I probably will keep it for the quarterly highlight reel. That's where I put things like this one tiny thing happened in a video that was really neat or funny, or a crazy long-range shot, or some weird ricochet or something, or I saw somebody else do something crazy like that, and then I put that, but it's not long enough to be a whole entire video to itself, or the whole battle wasn't video-worthy, because it does take a bit of time to go into. Then I'll use the DVR function for that. If it's seeming like it's going to be a really good battle, then I will DVR the whole battle and turn it into a video, and then that's where all the post-narration comes from, because I don't actively record my voice all the time, and I don't narrate if I'm just playing by myself anyway. I talk to myself sometimes while I'm playing, but I don't actually like narrate, okay, I'm going to do this now, do that now, and it's not, like I said, I don't have Shadowplay to record my voice audio. Now if Shadowplay could output a separate voice narration stream, separate from the in-game audio, that's all I would use, and I would always talk through what I was doing, because then I could just DVR my voice and the in-game audio, but it doesn't output a separate file for your narration or your commentary track for your voice microphone input. So until they do that, I can't use it, and I'm not aware of anything else that combines DVR functionality with a separate narration and commentary output stream. And right now, the setup that I have works for me. I paid for a license for RecordPad, so I don't want to pay for some other thing, so there's nothing that I know of that's free anyway, and that's the only reason I would use it, because Shadowplay is free and does everything I need it to do, and I already paid for a voice recording program that I can use with a global hotkey that I can start and stop my narration button within another program like War Thunder. So okay, so on to gameplay questions. These are sometimes from within the game, and these are sometimes from within YouTube, and sometimes from other places. So the number one, well, I wouldn't say the number one, but one that I get a lot is, can I squad up with you sometime? Or, would you like to join my squadron? You should join a squadron, etc. As far as squadding up with me, this is how it works. You join my Discord, which is listed in the description of this video. You go to the rules channel, you follow the rules in the rules channel, which is how you get privileges to see the rest of the rooms that you can't see when you first join. And then that's where I announce, okay guys, I'm doing squadding right now, or hey, for the next 2 hours, or I have however much time, I'm going to squad. So join this channel and then you can squad with me. This is what I'm playing this is the vehicles that I'm using, this is the battle type I'm doing, or we'll play whatever. Anyway, that's where I announce it. I have a channel where I announce that kind of stuff, and that's how you do it. As far as joining a squadron, no, I'm not interested at all in joining a squadron. I don't have the time or the interest to do it, so I just don't care. The next question I get a lot is, what's the best way to grind? Well, in my opinion, premium account makes a huge bit of difference. Premium vehicles, I like to have, I think a tier 4 premium vehicle is one of the best ways to grind every nation, either air or tanks, because they have the most range of useful vehicles that you can get, and you get the most benefit from using a premium vehicle towards tier 4 and 5 because they're the highest research cost. So a tier 2 premium vehicle will help you research 1, 2, and 3. A tier 3 would help you with 2, 3, and 4. Tier 4 helps you with 3, 4, and 5, and that's where I think 4 is the best because tiers 3, 4, and 5 have the highest research costs for vehicles going along with them. So that's why I think tier 4 is the best thing to use. As well, as far as if you're going to pay actual money for a premium vehicle, that's what I think is the best one to get. As far as which ones are the best, that's for a different video, and I get the premium vehicles that I'm personally interested in. That's how I get them. It may not necessarily be, well, this one is the best for grinding because it has the best whatever. It's just okay, I like that one the best. Either I was interested in that vehicle or it's neat to me or whatever, but I don't get them based on that's the best grinding one. I get them based on I like that one, I want to use that one. And maybe sometimes it's not, 9,880 golden eagles, which I think is insane. Okay, next question. Let's see, which one? Okay, I get a lot like, can you do a video on the blah 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 whatever tank or blah 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 whatever plane? Maybe. I don't know. I play the vehicles that are interesting to me a lot, or my favorite vehicles, and then when I'm squatting up with other people, or when I want to take a break, or when I'm grinding a different nation, that's when I switch them around. You'll see a lot of my gameplay videos are going to be the same vehicles over and over again, because it's mostly I play the high tier stuff, and I play the ones that I like and I enjoy. And I play those basically to grind to the next vehicle to get it unlocked, so that if it's a tank, I can do a first 10 on it, and if it's an aircraft, so that I can use it for my tank lineups. And if not, then it's to get to something that I can use for my tank lineups. All my tank lineups, the aircraft, all have some kind of ground attack capability. So I'm trying to get to whatever the best possible ground attackers are and or bombers to use in tank battles, because that's what I mostly play is tank battles. I do play aircraft battles fairly often, but for the most part I play them because it's faster to grind lions, or to get lions out that way, which I use to buy my tanks and my airplanes, but mostly tanks. Okay, next question. Why do you take so much ammo? Because I do. Next question. Why do you play so aggressive / rush the caps all the time? Okay. So here it is finally. I'm finally putting this in a video instead of just endless comments over and over again. So, this is mostly a first 10 thing. I do it in other gameplay videos occasionally. It depends on the battle type, honestly. In a first 10, however, I'm always going to rush towards the cap or to enemy contact because I'm trying to keep the video length down a little bit. The idea behind the first 10s is to give you an idea of what you can roughly expect in a stock tank, in a stock configuration, or if it's a premium tank, obviously, it comes with everything. But for the most part, in a stock configuration, and I can't account for your crew difference, your crew ability difference, so that's just the way it is. But it's my experience in that tank for the first 10 battles in that tank. I don't do SPAA in it because that's silly, and I feel like that would be really detrimental to the team to spawn first in SPAA 10 times. Particularly, say if it was like the M163, what am I going to do in the M163 but just die 10 times in a row? That's why I didn't do SPAA for it. Apart from that, I'm trying to get to contact with the enemy in the first 10 so that you can see what the shooting is like for whatever gun on whatever tank I'm driving. You can also see what the armor is like based on the return fire that I get. You can see what the speed and mobility are like. And I'm also trying to get to when I'm trying to rush the capture points, it's to get the capture points so that I can get research towards the modules, usually towards repair, obviously. The lower tier the vehicle is, then the better the more research I'm going to get faster, but still, capturing the points is guaranteed research if you can get to them. And it's a lot of it is, there are a lot of vehicles where they're not really great for capping, and they're not really great for rushing, but I'm always going to head that way because if nothing else, I'm going to try and take that point either with the team or away from the enemy because it's guaranteed research. And in a stock vehicle, it's also because in a stock vehicle without a repair kit, that's the only way, that's the only way that you can fix any kind of damage that you take. So I try to stay somewhat near the capture points, or at least ensure that the team has a capture point, which is why I always go for the conquest point. The other reason is because of ticket bleed. That's one of the best ways to lose a game, is to give up the points to the enemy without even a contest, and just let the tickets bleed away. And the longer it takes for you to go and try to take those caps back, the longer your tickets are going to bleed away, the harder you're going to have to press later, and the more reckless you're going to have to be, so the earlier you go for the caps, and even if you can't capture it, at least contest it from the enemy, stop them from taking it, or at least make it difficult, the better. And this is my opinion and my gameplay style, but this is why I do it. This is gonna be a long answer to this question. So another consideration is a lot of guys will just drive forward 10 feet to the first hill they come to, and they just stop and park behind it and just wait for something to come out like they're a trapdoor spider. Well, that's fine. That's a valid gameplay tactic, but when the entire team is doing it, if it's not a battle mode, that's okay in battle mode, or sometimes break if you want to play defensively. But for conquest and domination, you are asking to lose if the whole team does that. Now, conquest, if you get up to the point and you ring the point and you just sit back and stop the enemy team from getting it, okay, you can win that way. But domination, you can't. You gotta at least take 2 of the points, or at least 1, and hold them from getting 2. So, in a first 10, that is why I press aggressively, and also the main reason in the first 10 is I want to have a place where I can repair if I take damage, particularly if I lose my breach, because if you lose your tracks, the game will auto-repair your tracks, but if you lose your engine, it won't. You don't get to auto-repair your engine, so it sort of auto-repairs mobility kills, but then it doesn't. And you can't repair your gun or your turret ring or anything else like that if you lose it, so I want to make sure I've got someplace to go repair when I have a stock vehicle. The other reason is just to keep the time down. I mean, most of my first 10s push over 40 to 50 to an hour long, 40 to 50 minutes to an hour long, and I just don't expect you guys to watch a video that long. It takes a lot of time and effort to go through and record the whole thing for a first 10, and it takes a lot of time and effort to go through and edit it all out and compile it and render it and then upload it, and I'm just trying to keep those times down. I mean, the T95 and the Dicker Max and the Tortoise, I think I edited some travel time out of those, but for the most part, that's the point of the first 10, is I show you everything, the good and the bad, from start to finish, from the time I spawn in that vehicle until I get destroyed in that vehicle or I survive the battle. You see every part of that one battle that is with the featured tank. I stop after that because, again, that battle would just... If I played the entire length of the battle and showed you all the other vehicles I spawned in afterwards, that could take 25 minutes per battle, because some battles can't actually go that long, and I'm not going to do that for 10 minutes, or 10 battles, rather. Okay, so that's that question. Next question I get fairly often is, the rest of these are basically about first 10s. So I'll get a lot of them that are like, hey, what's the next first 10 you're going to do? Or when is it coming out? Or what's the next video you're working on? Well, it's a secret. I'm not going to tell you guys that. So occasionally, I mean, you can see what I'm grinding towards in a video if I put up... especially in a first 10, you can see what the next vehicle is going to be. That's probably going to be a first 10 vehicle for that nation. Though that's not entirely true, because I started grinding for the Chieftain Mark V and then heard a lot of people talking about it wasn't going to be any good and it wasn't worth the difference over the Mark III. And then I actually switched my research during that over to the Vickers MBT while I still had more than 270,000 research to go on the Chieftain Mark V. And then I did the Vickers MBT, and then I went back to the Chieftain Mark V research. But for the most part, when I start a grind on a vehicle, I'm going to just grind that one through. And I don't just grind that nation from vehicle start to finish. I will switch back and forth between them. But I kind of, once I start getting really close on one, I will focus on that vehicle to get it knocked out and then to get the first 10 done and to get that video out as quickly as I can afterwards. But I don't tell when the next first 10s are or what I'm working on. Sometimes people will see it, and a lot of times people will ask, hey, are you doing a first 10 right now? Especially if they recognize that I'm in a vehicle that they haven't seen a video on before. And the odds are maybe I am, but I also may have already done it, and therefore, and the video is uploaded and just waiting to release on the day that I plan to release it, and then that way I can play the vehicle afterwards. Sometimes that happens. But I'm not going to say, if I am actually recording a first 10, I will say, yes, this is first 10 battle number or whatever. I'll tell people so they can be like, oh my god, I gotta watch myself in that video. But apart from that, I generally don't, I'm not going to say which one I'm working on next or when it's coming out. I'll just say soon, TM. Next question, why first 10? Where did you come up with the first 10 idea, etc., something like that? Well, the answer is, the very first 10 was the M103 heavy tank for the United States. And the reason that it came about was, prior to that, I would do like whenever I'd get a new unlock on a new vehicle, I would play a game or two with it, and I would actively record the games, and then just whenever I had my first really good battle in it, I would upload that and say, I just got the whatever, here's the first really decent battle I had in it. It's really fun, or it really sucks, or God, it's terrible, or oh my god, it's crazy amazing. And I was so excited when I finally finished the research on the M103, because the M60 and the M47 and all the other tanks around that the US had back in like late summer, late fall of 2015 were just getting absolutely stomped and annihilated by anything with APHE that the Soviets had. And it was awful. It was terrible. It was one of the darkest days. So I was super excited about the M103 coming when I finally researched it. I just barely missed the M103 having its APHE round, so by the time I unlocked the M103, it had switched over to the solid shot round. It didn't have the APHE anymore, and the heat has always been the same heat round, although it changed from... That was right around the time that they changed the animation to the Heat FS shell. Anyway, I was so excited, and I sat down and I was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to play my first battle with the M103, and I'm going to record it. And I recorded it, and I recorded my narration, and I got killed in the first contact I had, and it was like, I don't know, a minute or 2 minutes or something, and I was like, well, Jesus crap, that sucked. So I just stopped, and I moved on, and I was like, alright, whatever, we'll just start over again in the next battle. So I went into the next battle, and then the same thing happened, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go until I get a good one. And I kept going, and after, like, I think it was like the third or fourth battle before I had something decent finally happen, and then I was like, okay, you know what? It's not an accurate picture and representation if I just do the first good battle I have. I was like, I decided I'm going to show up through the first 10 battles, because that should be an accurate enough representation that you should be able to get an idea of what this tank is like as it's brand new, as we go. And so therefore I did the first 10 with it, and that's what it became after. Also at the time, I had started doing YouTube, and I really was not getting any views or subscribers or anything, which I was brand new, and that was fine. And I was looking for something to set me apart from all the other YouTubers that were already out there doing War Thunder, because just copycatting what they were doing, why would anybody just watch that? I mean, eventually you'll get subscribers, but if you come up with something different and original-ish, you'll get noticed easier, I thought. And it's worked so far, because I think a lot of people know about the first 10s 2 years later. So I think it worked. But that is where the first 10 idea came from. And that also brings to the next question, which is, will you do a first 10 on the whatever, whatever, whatever? Well, the answer to that is simple and complicated at the same time, because for the US and Germany, I was playing those most at the time when I came up with the first 10s in late 2015. So most of the American tanks, you are not going to see a first 10 about them unless they came out after that point and were added into the tree. If something gets added into the tree afterwards, yes, I will do a first 10 on it. Like the new Churchill, the first Churchill that just came out. I haven't finished the research on it yet, but I will do a first 10 on that. I'm well beyond it in the British tree, but it's a new vehicle that was added retroactively, so yes, I will do a first 10 on that. The M46 was one where it came out after the fact, after I'd already gotten the M103, but then I did one on the M46 because it was a new vehicle that came out later. So that's, like the M56 was something new that was added in later, and therefore it got one. So that is, yes, I will do first 10s on every new tank that comes out. It may take me a while to get to them. For God, I'm still researching the T-54 1951. So it'll be a while before I get to the T-54 1951, and thus it'll be a while before I get to the T-62, and thus it'll be a while before I get to the T-55A. But they're coming. I'll get to them when I can. So I would say go to the channel, look at the first 10 playlist. If you don't see the first 10 for that vehicle, then I'm either going to do it in the future or it can't be done because I already had it and I already played it. That's why you don't see like the Tiger H1 or the Tiger E first 10s, because there aren't any, because I had them long before I came up with the idea for the first 10. So there's no Panther first 10s and etc. There's hope for some of those vehicles because Japan is kind of like a redo. Like, I've got the M24 first 10 that I did, and I'll be able to do the M4. I think they have the M4A3 76mm gun, and they have the M41A1. So I will do first 10s on those. They'll be the Japanese ones. They're kind of cheater first 10s because I have played all those vehicles, and I know about them already, but I haven't played any of those three in such a long time that it's almost like I'm playing a new vehicle again, because it's been so long that I forgot what they're like. I mean, I know the M41 is really fast, but... So those will be coming eventually from the Japanese tree. And I don't know if Japan will get any Panthers or anything, and I don't know if the Italians will get any premium German tanks or anything, or just straight-up German tanks. I don't think they probably were in the war long enough to have any real German stuff. I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know the ground forces and armor history of the Italian army in World War II very well. I know they used a lot of tankettes, but that's it. I'm getting way off topic for this question, but that's essentially... When people ask, are you going to do a first 10 on the whatever? If it's a new tank that just came out, yes, you don't need to ask me. I'll do one when I get to the research and I get it done. I will do it. I mean, you can ask, but the answer is always going to be yes, I'll do it. And the answer is going to be when I get to it and when I get it unlocked and when I get the grind done on it, I will do a first 10 on it as soon as I have the time to commit to recording a first 10. They take like 4 or 5 hours sometimes because... Once I get killed out in a battle, I have to wait for that battle to end to get the end results screen and take a screen cap of it. So sometimes the battles take a while and drag on, especially at lower tiers, or when the team is camping a lot. So it takes a while. Once I get killed, I play out the battle with whatever vehicles I have left, and then once I'm done out, I have to just wait and wait for the battle to end, and then go and do something else or whatever, or watch a YouTube video or something, and then wait for the battle to finally finish up. And then when it shows the results screen, I can take the screen cap and then move on to the next battle. So sometimes those videos take a really long time to do, just in the recording. And then the editing takes a long time too. I actually have a video up on the channel of a complete editing session from start to finish, with the exception of all the audio editing I did in Audacity. And that's up on the channel if you want to see the time and effort and everything that goes into the edit session for a first 10. That's on the channel. And let's see, do we have another video left? Or another question left here? I think that's it. That seems to be all the questions that I had for this first FAQ video. If I get enough repeat questions coming up again of other stuff, I may do another FAQ video in the future. But that is it for now, and I know this took a lot longer than I expected it to. I was looking at these questions and I was thinking, boy, I don't know how long this video is even going to be, and it's been quite a while, so... I hope this answers some of your questions, and this also helps me a little bit, because now I can point to the FAQ video. If you see people asking these questions on the YouTube channel, feel free to point them to the FAQ video, especially if you know that the question they asked was already answered here. I would really appreciate that, so I don't have to keep telling people see the FAQ video. And other than that, that's it. I hope you guys liked a little glimpse into the behind the scenes somewhat of where my name came from and what systems I use and how I record and other stuff about gameplay questions. So that should do it for today. Thank you guys for watching this. If you made it all the way to the end of this rambly-ish video, let me know in the comments, and feel free to ask other questions that I didn't answer here. And just check the comment section, please, and see if someone else already asked the same question or something very similar, and just reply to their question if you would also like an answer to that question, or if you have a slight variation on that question, rather than just asking a new question, please. And that should do it for today. Thank you guys for stopping by and checking this one out. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. in an actual video, not just a Orange Rambles for however long this video is. Thanks for stopping by, guys.